We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
More indictments against Hunter Biden, the U.S. Embassy attacked, new job numbers, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Special counsel David Weiss on Thursday filed an indictment against Hunter Biden, accusing President Joe Biden's son of evading $1.4 million in federal taxes from 2016 through 2019. During that period, Hunter Biden earned more than $7 million, including payments for his work for energy companies in Ukraine and China. Prosecutors say he spent that money on an extravagant lifestyle instead of paying his taxes. He also faces gun charges filed in Delaware in September after a plea deal on both cases fell apart. Defense attorney Abby Lowell said Hunter Biden paid his tax bill 2 years ago and wouldn't have been charged if his last name was anything other than Biden. Thursday's development comes ahead of an expected vote from House Republican leaders next week on a measure that would formally initiate an impeachment inquiry into President Biden over possible ties to his son's business dealings. Earlier this week, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer released subpoenaed bank records showing an entity owned by Hunter Biden had made direct monthly payments to Joe Biden. Comer attributed Thursday's indictment to the efforts of two brave IRS whistleblowers, Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler. Meanwhile, a former business associate of Hunter Biden is pushing back against Joe Biden after he angrily claimed it was a bunch of lies that he interacted with his son's foreign business associates. Biden was pressed during a press conference on Wednesday about why he interacted with so many of his son and brother's foreign business associates, but he denied having any such interactions despite evidence to the contrary. "I'm not going to comment. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies," Biden responded. "They're lies. I did not. They're lies." One of Hunter's former business associates reacted to Biden's comments by telling Fox News Digital that the claim was complete malarkey and said there is plenty of evidence to refute his denial. Hunter Biden's former friend and longtime business partner, Eric Schwein, visited the Obama White House and then Vice President Biden's residence dozens of times between 2009 and 2016. Schwerin was the founding partner and managing director of Hunter's now dissolved firm, Rosemont Seneca Partners, when he was appointed by then-President Obama to the Commission for the Preservation of America's Heritage Abroad, an independent U.S. government agency, in early 2015. Obama reappointed him to the commission in January 2017. Hamas fired rockets from humanitarian zones where the Israeli military has directed people fleeing the fighting in southern Gaza. The allegation intensified fears that nowhere is safe for civilians in the Palestinian enclave, thanks to Hamas's tendency to use civilians as human shields. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said U.S. pressure on Israel has yielded incremental improvement in Israel's protection of civilians and the flow of aid into Gaza. The United Nations has warned that without a ceasefire, Gaza faces a looming humanitarian catastrophe as aid deliveries are disrupted and civil order breaks down. A major donor to the University of Pennsylvania is withdrawing a donation worth roughly $100 million as a protest against the college's handling of anti-Semitism on campus and the controversial testimony by UPenn's president on the subject. Ross Stevens, founder and CEO of Stone Ridge Asset Management, donated to Penn in 2017 a gift that consisted of partnership units in the firm, which are now valued at around $100 million to help the university establish a financial innovation center. Attorneys for Stevens sent the university a letter indicating the school violated Stone Ridge's limited partnership agreement through its failure to adhere to anti-discrimination and anti-harassment rules. The news was first reported by Axios. The letter said that Stevens and Stone Ridge are appalled by the university's stance on anti-Semitism on campus. It added that Penn's permissive approach to hate speech, calling for violence against Jews and laissez-faire attitude towards harassment and discrimination against Jewish students, would violate any policy of rules that prohibit harassment and discrimination based on religion, including those of Stone Ridge. The U.S. Embassy in Baghdad was attacked by several rockets on Friday morning that caused minor material damage but no casualties, U.S. and Iraqi officials confirmed. Explosions were heard near the embassy in the capital city of Iraq at approximately 4:15 a.m. on Friday. An embassy spokesperson then confirmed the U.S. Embassy was attacked by 2 salvos of rockets, adding, "Assessments are ongoing, but there are no reported casualties on the embassy compound." Friday's attack included 14 Katyusha rockets, some of which struck near one of the embassy's gates, while others fell in the river, according to an Iraqi security official. The attack was confirmed by a U.S. military official who said the multi-rocket attack was launched at U.S. and coalition forces in Baghdad's heavily fortified Green Zone, which houses Iraqi government buildings and embassies. California is facing a major budget crisis due to a severe revenue decline and a record $68 billion budget deficit, likely forcing Democrats running the state to cut spending as the mass exodus of people and businesses moving to Republican-run states continues. According to California's nonpartisan Legislative Analyst's Office, their report released Thursday said the state's budget deficit has grown exponentially in just a few months' time, up more than $54 billion from just $14.3 billion in June. The deficit is the largest the state has faced in terms of real dollars. U.S. job growth continues to chug along at a healthy pace in November, suggesting the labor market remains resilient even in the face of higher interest rates, stubborn inflation, and other economic uncertainties. Employers added 199,000 jobs in November, according to the Labor Department in its monthly payroll report released Friday morning, as striking auto workers and actors returned to work. That was slightly above the 180,000 jobs forecast by economists. The unemployment rate unexpectedly fell to 3.7% after rising for 3 straight months, a drop that was driven by a sizable drop in the jobless rate for teenagers. The report also contained modest downward revisions to job growth at the beginning of fall. Gains for September were revised down by a total of 35,000 jobs to 262,000, the government said, suggesting that the labor market is weaker than it previously appeared. October gains was unchanged at 150,000 jobs. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.